Welcome, billionaire life seekers. Humans are progressing faster than ever, and at this rate, the world can easily be flipped on its heels within the next century. In this video, we're looking at 15 interesting predictions for the future generations of mankind. Stick around till the end for an exciting bonus fact. Let's begin. Number 15. Oceans will be extensively farmed and not just for fish. We will need to feed 10 billion people, and nature can't keep up with demand. So, we will need much more ocean farming for fish, but algae farming is also on the way for renewable energy, and maybe even for growth of feedstock, raw materials, or resource extraction via GM seaweed or algae. Number 14. We will have the ability to communicate through thought transmission. Transmission will be just as easy as other forms of brain augmentation. Picking up thoughts and relaying them to another brain will not be much harder than storing them on the net. Synthetic telepathy sounds like something out of Hollywood, but it is absolutely possible, so long as communication is understood to be electrical signals rather than words. Number 13. Thanks to DNA and robotic engineering, we will have created incredibly intelligent humans who are immortal. It is more likely that direct brain links using electronics will achieve this, but GM will help a lot by increasing longevity, keeping people alive until electronic immortality technology is freely available at reasonable cost. Number 12. We will be able to control the weather. There is already some weather control technology for mediating tornadoes, making it rain, or so on. And thanks to climate change concerns, a huge amount of knowledge is being gleaned on how weather works. We will probably have technology to be able to control weather when we need to. It won't necessarily be cheap enough to use routinely, and is more likely to be used to avoid severe damage in key areas. Number 11. Antarctica will be open for business. The area seems worth keeping as a natural wilderness, so I am hesitant here. But I do expect that pressure will eventually mean that some large areas will be used commercially for resources. It should be possible to do so without damaging nature there if the technology is good enough. And this will probably be a condition of exploration rights. Number 10. One single worldwide currency. This is very plausible. We are already seeing electronic currency that can be used anywhere, and this trend will continue. It is quite likely that there will be only a few regional currencies by the middle of the century, and worldwide acceptance of a global electronic currency. This will gradually mean the others fall out of use, and only one will be left by the end of the century. Number 9. We will all be wired to computers to make our brains faster. A decade or so ago, you'd think this would happen by 2050. However, with the recent advancements in metaverse, humanity being wired to computers is starting to seem like it's near future. We can expect this as soon as 2050 for many people. By 2075, most people in the developed world will use machine augmentation of some sort for their brains. And by the end of the century, pretty much everyone will. Number 8. Nano robots will flow around our body fixing cells and will be able to record our memories. Right now, medical nanorobots exist only in theory, and nanotechnology is mostly a material science. But it's a rapidly growing field. Nanorobots exist within the realm of possibility. But the question of when they will arrive is another matter. Number 7. We will have sussed nuclear fusion. This is likely by 2045 to 2050, and almost certain by 2100. It's widely predicted that we will achieve this. What difference it makes will depend on what other energy technologies we have. We might also see a growth in shale gas or massive solar energy facilities. I don't think that wind power will be around. Number 6. There will only be 3 languages in the world: English, Spanish, and Mandarin. This does look like a powerful trend. Other languages don't stand a chance. Minor languages are dying at a huge rate already, and the other major ones are mostly in areas where everyone educated speaks at least one of the other 3. Time frame could be this century. Number 5. Green funerals. By one estimate, a traditional 10-acre cemetery contains enough buried wood to build 40 homes, and enough embalming fluid to fill a swimming pool. Eco-friendly conservation burials on the rise in developed countries feature biodegradable coffins and formaldehyde-free embalming. It's easy to imagine such funerals spreading all around the modern world in the years to come. Number 4. California will lead the breakup of the US. There are some indications already that California wants to split off, and such pressures tend to build over time. It is hard to see this waiting until the end of the century. Maybe an East Coast cluster will want to break off too. Pressures come from the enormous differences in wealth generation capability, and people not wanting to fund others if they can avoid it. Number 3. Space elevators will make space travel cheap and easy. First, space elevators will certainly be around. And although cheap is a relative term, it will certainly be a lot cheaper than conventional space development. It will create a strong acceleration in space development, and tourism will be one important area. But I doubt the costs will be low enough for most people to try. Number 2. Women will be routinely impregnated by artificial insemination rather than by a man. At the very least, more couples are choosing advanced fertility techniques over old-fashioned conception. Pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, in which an artificial inseminated embryo is carefully selected among other inseminated embryos for desirability, is becoming increasingly common in fertility clinics. Using this technique, it's now possible to screen an embryo for about half of all congenital illnesses. Within the next decade, researchers will be able to screen for almost all congenital illnesses prior to embryo implantation. Number 1. There will be museums for almost every aspect of nature. By the end of the century, we'll most likely have museums dedicated to preserving some of the simplest fragments of nature. Since so much of the world's natural habitat will have been destroyed, scientific estimates suggest the Earth is on the verge of a significant species extinction event. Protecting biodiversity in a time of increased resource consumption, overpopulation, and environmental degradation will require continued sacrifice on the part of local, often impoverished communities. Experts contend that incorporating local communities' economic interests into conservation plans will be essential to species protection in the next century. We appreciate you watching till the end. As always, we'd like to thank you with a bonus fact. Today's bonus fact isn't great news if you're a coffee lover. Thanks to global warming, rising temperatures are bringing diseases and drought and kill pollinating insects. By 2050, climate change is forecasted to make nearly half the Earth's land used to grow high-quality coffee beans unproductive by 2050. On the brighter side, even if you're not able to give up on your caffeine addiction by 2050, global warming might do it for you. Which of the above future predictions are you most excited for? Let us know in the comments. And that's it up for today. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for regular updates from our channel when we upload. See you in the next one.